Alright, check this out. This is kind of cool. This is just the general connector for the Duramax truck. I think they're all about the same. But I just went in with a screwdriver, get a little pop. That thing comes out, and then you got a little tab up here to depin. You gotta, can you see what I'm doing? Maybe, I don't know. See this tab here? You gotta pry him back, and then the pin comes out. So I got my green and white depin just for funsies. I grabbed this guy. This is what the pins look like. And without knowing anything else, I'm assuming that they fit right inside of the 95 power panel. So this guy is the same. He's got a little gray retainer here. So he just kind of falls out. Oh, there's stuff in the way. So that's out. And then these are my relay things. So you stick them back in, kind of like this. I'm just orienting it with what I see on the one beside it. So I put them in. It's snapped in there. And then our pin retainer, like this. Stick that guy back in. And boom. Now we've got a pin in our relay spot. So if you lucky your relay, you got 85, 86, 87, and 30. It should be the same as the other ones where yeah, 87 and 30 are across, 85, 86 are across. So when you stick this guy in here like he was, oops, he was over here. I don't know where he was from. I'll match up the dirt marks, kind of like that. Then I can see where my coil was and where my contacts are. And I'll put my start relay here, and I'll put my Fickum relay. Well, that one's used. That must be my fuel pump. It's got a dot on it. The lift pump. We got a spot here, so maybe I'll go there. EDU and starter. Oh, we already have starter. I can't remember what all I need a relay for now. Anyhow, that's pretty cool. Those pins fit. So if you didn't cut all your wires too short, just harvest some pins out of your connectors here and stick them in here. A couple solder sleeves and it'll look factory. You'll have all your relays in the panel right where you want them. I think I turned my phone sideways somewhere in the excitement there. That's my bad. So, yep. Just wanted to mention that. I was going through some of these and I don't have any labels. That was kind of really stupid on my end. But I think I'd rather have an empty connector than have something that I cut out and then I'm going to need later. So if I am not sure, I'm going to leave it just in case. And then it'll just stay there for the rest of the time. I don't really care. This thing's not a show truck. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I'm not going to clean or paint this motor. I'm just going to run it the way it sits. And then when I do injectors, it may have to come back out for that. I'm not sure. At that point, I can put a little more time into maybe degreasing it. So I need the truck running more than I need to look good. I tried making it look good once, and now the nice engine's sitting in the dirt because it sucks. So it's got to prove itself, and I'll make it look nice. Anyhow, that's not related at all to wiring, but I thought I'd mention that. So this is definitely going. I think this is fuel pump, injection pump related. There's an oil pressure switch back here somewhere too that I need. So yeah, moving forward, but that's pretty cool that the pins fit. So just thought I'd mention that. So I went for a stroll out back and grabbed my cover for the 6.5, and to my surprise there's not a start relay. So I didn't trace, but I assumed my wire back to here, and there's a large purple inside of here coming from the cab. So that's my start signal right there. I don't know. I think I want to put a relay in and let the ECM control the start, which isn't awful bad. I can just cut that wire here, route it back through here, solder into one of my, there's a heavier one in here like that, and or pick a nice big red or something, I don't know. But I can stuff them in here and make this my start relay. That's my auxiliary fan, not needed. Here's another blank. So I have my starter and my Fickum that I was using. I think that's the only two things back here that really require a relay. So yeah, on power, I'll just pick a pink wire that's heavy, like this one here, and splice into him. And then that'll get one of my ECM powers. I'm sure I could pin it out eventually too. But yeah, so the reason I took another video is this came out of my Duramax truck. That relay, 120/88/567. Look at that, 120/88/567. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that the Potter Brumfields, are unanimous with the hella out of the Duramax. So I can just plug and play relays, and that's what she'll look like when it's all said and done, plus a fuel pump relay that's bigger. Look, I'm not here to keep talking up GM, but out of all the vehicle manufacturers you can come up with, how many of them can you just pull shit off one, throw it on the other, call it a day? Then you're like, oh yeah, I just want to put the NV4500 up to it. Oh, how convenient. It's the same bell housing. They did so much stuff to make your life really easy on the retrofit side of things. And I don't even think they knew what they were doing, but they probably knew what they were doing when they did it. So that's super cool. I'll probably land my glow plug wire into there. This thing had a nice holder for it over here. I was gonna try to steal that off. That's my fuse for it, 175 amp. I don't know if I can just cut that off the side and then glue it on. Probably not. So I'll just take that and then tape it up real nice and I'm done. So yeah, that makes things kind of easy, and it'll make it look really factory. And then maybe I'll just write in here with a Sharpie what they do. I don't know. It'd be cool. Sharpie the relay too and be done. Well, people, the time has finally come. Someone wants to buy this bad boy. So we got to get this stuck on a pallet today. Just like the parts truck out back here. The original buyer was supposed to come grab that bad boy before the snow flew. That way, we didn't have to deal with it when there's snow on the ground, because I live on top of a mountain, and well, it really sucks dealing with stuff when you got snow everywhere. So I figured I'd bring you in for a quick and dirty startup of the old backhoe. This thing's kind of cool. It's a 1956 case. Back in the day, they had little ether jets for them, so that you could just give it a snort of ether out of the little one shot, and then let her rip. But now we got 2 shots of ether. So I'll get you set up on a stand so you can watch this bad boy start. She does quite the cold start. Right now, as you can tell, it's barely freezing. So, pretty chilly today, not gonna lie. little sniff of these, they're nothing crazy. And she's running like a top. Never mind the smoke rolling out of the shed. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and let that warm up. Start running on all four, and we'll pick this bad boy up, set her on a pallet, and get it ready to ship. yeah, we'll get her all banded up now and ready to ship out. And put it way over here just to protect the turbo. I think that's the biggest thing he's after, and then all the internal parts. If this sucker decides to fall off the pallet, I don't think they really matter. You know, you can crack cast iron and the cam's still good. So, yeah, that's all. So, this evening, I got the 6.5 all crated and ready to rip. And we're back on the harness for the 95. And, I'm trying to weed out. I don't want all these plugs and stuff on here that used to go to the 6.5. Because I'm kind of committed and no turning back. It's actually a lot harder than I thought. I haven't snipped a wire yet. I'm looking at this big dude, and this is all the sensors for the 6.5 for the electronic injection. So I didn't even use this. Then this is my snip mark right here. I can't bring myself to cut it. Actually, I'll probably depin these because those look like the same pins as the pins over here. And then I can cut them back there, seal them off under this big, I don't know why GM used this. They put it right here, but I'll just put all my seal offs right here, and then they'll be hidden under that thing. So then I can tell myself that I'm not cutting anything. I'm just depinning it, and then I'm going to reuse it. And that way, if I ever want to go back, all the wires are still here. So I don't know, just an interesting feeling that I had of destroying something that I tried to make work for the last 10 years. Alright, enough talking. Let me start pulling pins out. Looks like this guy has a retainer here. We'll pry him off, and then the pins will just pull right out. I'll get a bunch of different colors too. That's kind of nice. Couple updates. What I found in this connector when I pulled the pins out, they're the same. This is what the pin looks like. Minus this grommet, which is just a waterproof gasket to go in that connector. They're the same as the pins that go into my power unit. So I got a couple in there already. This is going to be my Thickum relay. So gray matches the gray, and then red's power. And then I forget what color. I think blue runs the Thickum. So I have a heavy wire to the common side, and then the normally open will have a heavy blue coming out. So I learned all this after I started cutting wires here. Here's a nice blue I could have used. Here's a nice red, orange. I'm gonna go see what's on my truck out there, and if I have any more, I'm gonna go harvest them. If not, I'm gonna go see what colors I do have, and if they all end up being red, I'll just tag them. But the next truck, if I do this again, I'll certainly be sure to pull the right color wires so that the harness looks nice. I don't know. It kind of sucks, but you know, you learn. Hindsight's 20/20. Yeah, here's that freaking. Oh, I already used the blue wire. It's on the truck over there. So it's a little bit too short to solder. I wanted to maximize the length when I cut these things. But now knowing they pin in, I'd certainly do that next time. Yeah, that's kind of neat. It's going to have all factory control power from here. I Sharpied this guy in. I'm using him now. That's my battery. It's just a 10 amp. It's going to go to the PCM. This pink I may splice into, just because it's there, it's big, and you know, it's already got a fuse on it and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go see what I got for big wires. Going forward though, if you're doing this, definitely depin stuff and repurpose it. It makes it look so much cleaner, and it doesn't take that much more effort. I forget really where I was going with this video, but I really wanted to just mention that those pins fit there, and don't cut anything. Pull it out. Well, against my better judgment to spend more money, I went ahead and bought pins for this connector. I'll show you what those are when they get here, and part numbers for that. They make a 14 to 16 and a 12 to 10 gauge. So that means that all these big boys here, I can run through that connector as well and make my Duramax harness disconnectable from my 6.5 harness for whatever reason. It might make it a little bit neater having a plug on the end of it. I don't know, that's kind of cool. And that gives me time to stop at a junkyard. I gotta harvest a big pink, a big blue, and I got a nice orange here that's already pinned in. And they'll plug in. And yeah, it'll just be kind of nice to have a professional looking job when this is said and done. And that truck's kind of rough. It looks really nice, but I just welded a plate on the frame. So someday, whenever I completely trash the truck out by beating it up and down this hill, I can go ahead and take all my stuff out of here, grab a new frame, toss my cab, maybe buy a rust-free cab or something, throw it on there, and then just run this harness right back through it. And you know, that'll be kind of cool. I can just take my stuff with me then. So that was kind of the motivation to make the motor mounts and everything so that it drops right in without much modification to the truck. I just got to grind that four-wheel drive bracket off a little bit. But then it's ready to go into the next truck. There's no major overhauls on the frame to make it fit. So, yeah, I don't know what I'll do the rest of this week on this thing. I might start wrapping this back up. I went out and looked at the truck, and these connectors I couldn't decipher which is which and who is who. So I think I'm just going to end up leaving them, and they can just stay unplugged in the back. Same thing. I think this one was at the injection pump too. Actually, I think that's definitely with the injection pump. Maybe the throttle. I don't know. But definitely not the throttle. I don't know what that one is, but it's going to stay there. It'll just get wrapped up and taped. And it'll look like an option that never existed. But, yeah. I don't know. I got some of the wires out of it. It's thinned down a little bit, so that's kind of nice. And I'll tape it all up real nice like I did with the other harness, just to protect it a little bit better. Put it back in some loom. I think I have this size loom on hand. Maybe this stuff all sitting up above the toolbox. Right there. So I can use that and make this harness look nice. And then all I'm waiting on is the input shaft for that guy, a clutch to come back. That's all shipped out. And then once that's all together, we'll make the intercooler fit and we're done. I mean, that sounds really simple, but it's not. In the meantime, I broke my snow plow, so that's kind of cool. It's chilling out here in the weeds. And it's also snowing, which is also kind of cool. So, I gotta cut this pipe off over here and weld new pipe in. I might have not been doing what I should have been doing with it. I was trying to push a big old box with it and then decided to break it off instead. So, you know, on top of trying to keep a project going, I also have the house that I'm wrapping in foam board to try to stay a little bit warmer this year. I got the living room done. Did a good job. And got to keep chugging along with that. So this is slowing down a little bit while I'm waiting on things, which is kind of nice, but kind of sucks. But oh well. So yeah, drinking beer and working on electrical. We'll shut her down for the night. I gotta go to work tomorrow. So today is Sunday, December 7th. So that transmission was a huge setback on trying to get this truck running by Christmas. I'm not that far out. I'm a couple big steps away, and hopefully I can get her going by then. If not, it'll be shortly after the first of the year, like, I don't know, June of next year. No, it won't be that long. I'll definitely try to shoot for when it's -40 out, in January and trying to get this thing going. That'll make me super happy. So more to come, but right now we're just chugging along with wiring. I didn't go super in depth with this one just because it's, if you can figure out how to make that harness work based off of the videos I took, then this one's super cake. There's a lot less wires in it, and I just got really lucky with these pins being the same and finding them on the internet. So yeah, I'll show you how to not crimp pins the right way whenever that shows up, and we'll try to make sure the wires somewhat stay in the pins. Nothing's high amp here. I think that was only, I pulled 1.5 amps or something with the key on, which isn't crazy bad. So I don't know why they used on this Ficum over here. Where's it at? Let's go here. Might be hard to see. Yeah, see the big pink wire here? There's that one and that one. And those guys are like a sizable wire. Say 14 gauge or so. And they run in parallel. Like it would take a lot of power, but it doesn't. So I didn't measure it running, but I can't imagine it pulling 5 amps. So, but then again, this does have a cooler on it. Or it's cooled by fuel anyhow. So maybe it does get hot. If this thing melts down, you'll know that I did it wrong and not to do it this way. But if it doesn't melt down, then you'll know that it's a good idea. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna definitely get wire from the junkyard if I'm going as far as the pin things. That way I can keep everything colored the same, and you'll just see me having wire. I'm not gonna take you to the junkyard with me. If you can, it's the same as doing it here on the bench. So yeah, that'll be kind of cool. And that's about it for the night. I'm gonna clean up, get ready for work, and go to bed.